Hello everyone and welcome back. Michelle's joining us for this one.
Hello everyone.
We're looking at anomalies in Proctor. This is a huge circular depression in Noachis Terra. This is located in the southern mid-latitudes of Mars. The RIS team calls this one Change Detection in Proctor Crater, acquired on the 24th of February 2011 at a resolution of 25.2 centimeters per pixel. I'm showing you images cropped from the JP2 black and white map projected file. There's a look at the very odd terrain at this site and these weird dunes, which I may add, I've looked at the dune movement, as NASA calls it, between the two different photographs taken about a year apart, and I haven't noticed that these dunes have moved. Check that out, let me know if I'm wrong. I don't think so, folks, but anyway, the anomalies I'll be showing you are some of these larger white specks that litter this terrain. So the site is in Proctor, and NASA has also scanned this site extensively. Just check it, all the photographs taken of these dark patches, and that's where you find anomalies, guys. So if you're looking for anomalies, check out these dark patches inside the circular depressions. You'll most likely find something. But anyway, the site is here, roughly at 47 degrees, 19 minutes south, 30 degrees, 35 minutes east. For your convenience, I've also included a scale indicator giving you a rough idea of how huge these anomalies are. So I'm going to be looking at that one. I'd say that there is about 22 meters long. Check out the way that this thing looks as if it's been sculpted, guys. Here's the one I showed you when I used PhotoZoom Pro 7 in the past. Check this out. It looks almost like a leaf or a petal of a flower in these smaller items over here on the top. And this isn't the first time we've seen these sort of flower-like anomalies on Mars. I'll show you a couple in a second as well. Then we're zooming in on the item to the top. And not only does it have the usual suspect in the center, this one's got a slot on the right hand side. And this underneath looks like a piece of sheet metal again. I don't know what these are. Could it be paneling, sheet metal from failed missions? Who knows what those are? Then we'll be zooming in on the large piece over here, about 28 meters across. That's what it looked like when I first presented it to you. And the sphere lying over here in the center of this half is also rather odd. It reminds me of those large spheres that you get in India, if I'm not mistaken. They're about 8 meters in diameter, if I can recall correctly. Then we'll zoom in on the item to the right. Gigapixel AI brings out details that we previously didn't see. Check out the two parts over here lying in the same direction. We've got this layer on the left. There's also some symmetry in this design, if I could call it that. And this sort of teardrop plectrum shape we've seen quite often. I'll show you another one. It's in one of the upcoming slides. Check this out, folks. Another one of these strange, almost tadpole shapes. That's what it looked like in the past. Check this out. It's also like a spiraling ramp onto the top of the larger object. I like this smaller part over here at the apex of this almost plectrum shaped object as well. Looks very artistic. And there's some others I showed you in the past, also with what looks like a spiraling ramp comes onto the larger part. And of course you can see the references to the previous videos there, as well as the NASA page. So if you want to check that out, you're welcome to. Then we'll zoom in on that odd item. This is about, that's 25, this is about 10 meters across, this part. And it's got a weird dark patch on the top. Looks almost like that could be an indentation over there, guys. And then this, we've seen this so often as well. The two larger parts, there's a gap between them and a smaller object that spans that opening. So this 90-degree angle here is also quite strange. Check this piece out. Was this part of a sculpting in the past? It was blown apart, pieces have separated, or does this have some type of function? It looks like a little lid or a hatch. It's partially opened over there. Check out this piece, multiple blocks. I like the very straight edges to it, right angles, the uniformity in the thickness of those blocks as well. And this looks like an embedded disc on that larger piece, sort of embedded at an angle. And then this partial disc, and it looks like that part there might cover what might be a hole underneath it. It's right there in the center as well. This block about 12 meters across, and in its center got a strange smaller part. And then this looks like a depiction of a circle on top of that larger piece. Check this out. Almost like a mini Stonehenge. Of course, could be natural as well, but it does look rather odd and out of place. And then this part, Michelle and I were talking about this, and it's strange. It looks like another depiction of a fish. There's the eye, mouth, gill, fin. Got a block here to the right, and also it looks like a disc or rounded part embedded in the surface. So yeah, this is the third one, I think, that I've shown you that looks like a fish. Not that it is, guys, but it is intriguing. And this piece is also huge. Got a nice rounded curvature to it, elevated off the surface over here, and a partial disc, the small protrusion close to its center. This looks almost like a hanger. This part over here is also quite irregular. It's almost like a huge fossilized bone. Smaller part in the center again. This is a very bright part of the photograph. And again, a disc-like object on the top of that larger part. Just like they used to stack these huge boulders in, I think it's Vietnam as well. You find these huge rocks that have been stacked up on top of one another. Almost like dolmen type of designs. And we're looking at that part, and this looks very weird. It's almost got an artistic look to it. It's almost like a face of an animal. Check. It's like the eye and the nose. Also looks very furry. It's rather strange. And here's one of those parts that looks almost like a flower. This piece is about 22 meters across, and it's got a small sphere in the center, and then these three smaller parts arranged geometrically to the left. And there's another one I showed you quite recently from REDUX, Anomalies south of Pi. Looks like a huge leaf over here to the left. These two blocks are also quite interesting. The dark part on the right hand piece and a dark spot on the left hand piece. Another megalithic block. This one's about 8 meters long. Nice right angles to it. Uniformity in the width and height. And then it looks like a curved part on the left hand side here. This is also a rather odd piece. So it looks like a flower. Not that these are flowers, but very similar in shape, design. And then we're looking at another photograph, also at the site Monitoring Dune Movement in Proctor Crater, acquired on the 17th of July 2020, 25.2 centimeters per pixel. As usual, I'm showing you images cropped from a JP2 black and white map projected file. And there's that same dune, the dune field, and I compared it to the other photograph I showed you, taken months, maybe a year apart, and they still seem to be located in these same positions. So the site is still at that location. We're looking at the object there. It's also quite huge, 22 meters across approximately, and there's the strange plectrum or teardrop part on the top, like I showed you at the beginning of the presentation. And we're looking at a strange block with a small protrusion on it, on the right hand side, and a smaller block to the right. And here's another one, not exactly the same, but also it has a narrow block to the one side. These remind me of those megaliths we get down at Rennes in South America, with the protrusions on their surfaces. And we're looking at this long narrow piece. Michelle's just popped in again. Check this out, guys. Rectangular in shape. And then the part on top, it's sort of a rounded design to it. parallel to the edge. Another one of these blocks with a small part in its center. Check there. And then this, I've shown you a similar piece in the past. Let's zoom in on this. Check this out. It's got like a neat edge to it, running all the way around, and then the two rounded rectangular parts in the center. Same length. Check that out. And there's a similar item I showed you in the past from REDUX. Strange anomalies near Chamberlain. So this neat edge, almost like a little box with the two rounded rectangular shapes on the inside. Right, let's zoom down to Noachis Terra and to Proctor. These are from previous videos. Let's have a look at those I just showed you for reference. And we'll zoom out and check out Anomalies in Newcomb to the north. These were done using PhotoZoom Pro 7. Very blurry, almost out of focus images. But I'll probably redo these using Gigapixel AI in the near future. So let's go more down to the south. Terrible quality. Another one of those partial discs with a protrusion or knob on it. Strange design over here. These 4 blocks moved apart slightly. Another site I'll do in the near future. This is where I found that piece that looks almost like a Quambaya jet. It's about 22 meters in length. Maybe I'll do this site next in Gigapixel AI. Lots of look like sheet metal pieces or paneling. There's a disc underneath that part. Another usual suspect on that one. It looks like a hole in the center. I think I'll do this site next. Another disc embedded on that part. Strange pattern depicted there. Another one of those almost flower-shaped objects. Let's see if I can separate out the other side. There we go. Strange block with these indentations on it. Looks like a machine. That concludes this one. Thank you for watching. Michelle and I will see you in the next one soon.
Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao for now.